So here's a bit of news that I quickly want to talk about. Did Charlie Munger slash its stake in Alibaba in half? At least that's if you believe the media, and these are the headlines right now. And at first I also posted this in our Patreon community and said like that, well, you see, Munger is selling Alibaba, and not even ideally, even the greatest investors making mistakes, because if you're looking at the chart, this is where he loaded up first, then a second and a third time. We had those positive news, and that was possibly very well resonated with Alibaba retail investors, that he was doubling down, and now he is selling right here at this, what could be actually the bottom. Does this make sense? And after a while of thinking, it got me that this may actually be something else. Because, you know, where's this news coming from? So all of these media are referring actually to the SEC filing in which the holdings are disclosed and, well, how many shares are they owning currently. And yes, this shows that the stake has been slashed in half basically, but does it mean that he really sold? I don't know much about Charles Munger, and I'm not following Munger, even though he is also bullish on Chinese stocks. But I think from what I'm getting, this should not be a guy that is kind of going in and out and, you know, selling quickly after doubling down. That doesn't just make a lot of sense to me. And so I thought of another option, which could be that Charles Munger actually was converting the US holdings in Alibaba, the ADR shares, into Hong Kong shares, and making that conversion during this period could actually make quite a bit of sense actually, when just geopolitics were kind of getting out of hands a little bit with the Ukraine conflict, and on top of that we had more and more fear around the delisting threat. And so maybe similar to Brendan Ahern of Grain Shares, they started also converting all of their underlying stocks from US holdings actually into Hong Kong shares, because in the case of a delisting, that way they wouldn't have to do anything additionally. Those shares are just traded in Hong Kong. And what if Charlie Munger just did the same thing? Well, if he did so, then his holdings wouldn't actually show up in the SEC filings anymore, because they are now Hong Kong shares, and that means they are not disclosed with the SEC. They will show up in other filings, but not with those SEC filings that all of the retail investors and also the media is now looking at. And so this could be actually quite a possibility that this is actually what has happened, and not that Charlie Munger actually sold his stake in Alibaba. And then you might ask, well, why would he just convert like 50%? Well, it is actually quite convenient to have still some in Hong Kong dollars and some in US dollars. So this gives you also a little bit of a risk balancing between the currency risk. And additionally, you can actually also make use of the time shifts between trading of in Hong Kong. So he would be able to sell in Hong Kong parts of his stake if something happens overnight. And then as soon as the US opens, he could either buy or sell with his stake that he's still holding in US dollars in ADRs. So that's kind of a little bit of not only hedging the delisting risk. If this goes on, he can of course convert all of it into Hong Kong shares, but also the currency conversion thing. So quite a bit of reasons why he would actually want to do that. I don't know if that is really the case. I just wanted to put it out there and kind of give the Alibaba crowd here something to talk about. Let's see. Please let me know in the comments what you think that he has done. Will we see that he actually sold it, or will we also see some Hong Kong filings and see that he actually converted 50% of his holdings to Hong Kong? Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and then see you in the next one.